This exercise is to print the Fibonacci series of less than 1000. The Fibonacci series starts with 1 and 1, and the next number is calculated based on the total sum of the previous two numbers. And then the previous numbers get updated with the new value, the next number in the series, and the number basically before that. So we start with 1 and 1. We calculate the next one, 2, which is 1 plus 1. And then the first two numbers, the numbers that we're considering, get updated from 1 and 1 to 1 and 2. Then we move to the next number. The next number is the total sum of the previous two numbers, which is here 1 and 2. And we print that, and then we update the content of the previous two numbers. So they become 1 and 2, and we just carry on until we get to the last number in the Fibonacci series that is less than 1000, which is basically 987, and then we keep printing these numbers that we basically calculate. So the objective of this exercise is not to teach you Fibonacci. Maybe in the entire of your software engineering career, you never actually end up using Fibonacci at all. The objective here is to how we formulate a solution and how we design an algorithm, and then how we implement that algorithm. Remember, this formulation of solution and understanding how algorithm works and how to design them is critical in order to become a programmer. You can know all the commands in a programming language like Python, but what is important is how you put them into use in order to design a solution. For example, if you want to build a chair, you may know what is a hammer and what it does, but if you don't know how to use the hammer to build a chair, then you won't be able to actually build a chair. So what we need to know here, what we need to remember in here, is the swapping algorithm, because at this stage, when we moved to the next number, we need to swap the previous basically numbers that we have been considering, and we need to update that there with the next number, with the value of the next number in the series. So in order to do swapping, we need that the basic algorithm is to basically take a third variable, a temporary variable, then you put the content of the first variable into this temporary variable, you move, then you update the first variable with the content of the second variable, and then you update the content of the second variable with the value of your basically temporary variable. So here we need a very similar algorithm. We need a very similar swapping technique, but we're not exactly swapping the content of number of your first two of the two numbers. We're updating with those values with the next number basically. Let's see how it works. So we need to start with 1 and 1. We need to basically initialize our two variables with 1 and 1, and then we need to print them to create the first two numbers in the series. So let's say num1, 1, and num2, also 1. Then we need to print them. Print num1, print num2. Now we can enter the loop. So the condition of the loop is basically until the next number in the series is less than 1000. So the next number is basically the total sum of these two numbers. So while number 1 plus number 2 is less than 1000, we need to keep generating the next number and printing them inside of a loop. So while num1 plus num2 is less than 1000, that becomes our loop condition basically. Inside the loop, we need to do that. We needed to do to basically do the swapping. So we take a temporally variable. We just call it t to store the content of number one. Then our number one is updated with the content of the second number, and the second number content will be updated by the total sum of number 2 plus the previous value of number 1, which is basically inside this temporally variable t. And again, this line of code means num2 assigned by num2 plus t. Let me fix the indentation. And then we just need to print the new num2. That's basically it. And let's see. You can see the Fibonacci series correctly printed in here, up to 1000.